gentlemen, please welcome to the stage a fellow American. Give it up for Mr. Drew Portnoy. Let her hear it. I don't know where I'm going with that. So my favorite German word, onanieren. That means to masturbate. Seems like an easy joke, I know, but it is honestly my favorite German word because how do you pick such a lyrical, beautiful word for such a banal act? Onanieren. I love it. So, but when I first picked this word, I thought I've got to find out what this means because I'm an American, which means I have the education of a German fourth grader. So I researched this thing. I went to Wikipedia, and it turns out onanieren, that comes from the Bible. They took it out of the Bible. Onan was a dude in the Bible. This is true? Well, Wikipedia says it's true. That Onan was in the Bible. He was supposed to get a woman pregnant. He didn't want to get her pregnant, so he fucked her and pulled out at the last minute. Proves the Bible invented pornos. That's where it started. So that's what this guy. So then I started thinking, Onan sounds like an okay dude. Why did we pick Jesus over Onan? Like, why didn't we have the Church of Onan? It would make praying a lot easier. And then like imagine like going to church, the Church of Onan, like communion. Rather than the blood and body of Christ, you get hand cream and a Kleenex. Or like, instead of a confessional, porno booths. But the Pope would still be the Pope, because he's always been the biggest jack-off there is. Are you Catholic? Sorry. But my new favorite word, and this applies to me, my other favorite German word, it's a phrase, it's Anti-Baby-Pille. It's a fantastic phrase, it's great. In English we say, the very clinical, we say contraceptive. Contra from Latin for against, and then septive, perceptive. But in German they say Anti-Baby-Pille. You know right away who the enemy is. That's my German words. I was listening to radio the other day, and I didn't know that people still think this. There are people that still think that marijuana is a gateway drug. Like if you take a couple tokes, 3 weeks later you're in rehab for heroin. And that's bullshit. I smoke a lot of weed. I've never been in rehab for heroin. Cocaine, but but it's a gateway drug, and that's just bullshit. Like, you know what the real gateway drug is? Alcohol is the real gateway drug. It has been the gateway to some of the worst decisions of my life. My wife and I got drunk one night. I got my wife pregnant. Alcohol is so strong, we now have 2 kids. Gateway drug. And that's the problem. Like when you become a parent, this is the problem. You want to be a good role model for your kids, so you have to give all that shit up. You can't do it anymore. Which is too bad because I'd finally gotten to a point in my career where I could afford the really good drugs. But I can't anymore. And also, I didn't even need drugs till I had kids. And then I'm thinking maybe I should give the drugs to the kids. But you can't. You can't when the mom's home. You can't give drugs to the kids. Yeah, so, I turned 40, that's why I started doing comedy, was when I turned 40 I realized I can't do shit. I can't play any instruments, I can't paint. I was a financial journalist, I can't even trade stock. I can tell jokes, kind of. So I started doing comedy, so basically what you're watching is my midlife crisis. I thought this would be cheaper than a sports car and less hassle than a 23-year-old with daddy issues. Thank you guys. A lot of fun. Thanks a lot.